Okay, everyone, and good night, and welcome to another episode of Malden Talks. Today is April 2nd, 2020, and tonight we have, straight from Beacon Hill, Representative Donato and Representative Ultrino. I apologize to everybody if Representative Donato may need to go. He is chairing he's chairing tonight, so he may get called away at any moment. I'm sure you've all heard about the governor's new order extending this stay at home till May 4th. This has been a huge impact on everybody here in the state and in the nation. And people are concerned in that they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what to think. And it's good that we can get together and talk to some of our elected representatives and get some insight into what's going on. Let's start with something a little soft. Let's start with Representative Donato. Could you explain to us what a typical day at home is like for you?
Under these circumstances?
Yes.
Very, very boring. I'm used to running around in a circle, but my typical day is early in the morning, I'll get a call from someone basically today relative to unemployment insurance or other constituent issues, but unemployment insurance and navigating the unemployment insurance has been probably the most important thing that's been happening in the last few days. And we've been trying to help people navigate that system, and we've been somewhat successful.
Wow, that sounds pretty complicated. Representative Ultrino, how has your family been impacted by this?
Well, my brother works for the post office, so he is business as usual, as you probably know. My mom, who lives upstairs, she's been injured the last few months, so she hasn't been able to get around. So it's not too different for her. But I think everyone's tense, no matter what they see in the news or what have you. So we're just trying to cope.
On my end, the strongest problem we had to begin with was with my daughter. You know, dragging her back from UMass Amherst in her sophomore year. They're at that age when they think they're invincible. Right. So it was a little bit tense at first, getting her used to the fact that she has to stay home. But that settled down. I'm trying to get an idea of more of an overview. Representative Donato, where is the leadership on Beacon Hill, do you think, trying to take us or lead us through this now, these virus issues?
Well, we've been working for the last 2 weeks, making it so that we're dealing with issue by issue. One of the major issues that we dealt with in the beginning was the election process. And we had some special elections for both senators and state representatives. So we had to move those forward. And then we had to work with the cities and towns who are trying to deal with their issues with regard to, most of them have April as the time that they have their town meetings. So we were working on that basis. And then we put in $15 million in a supplemental budget quickly to assist the governor and the government with regard to this COVID-19, so that we've been working on that. And now we have a municipal package that the governor has. One of the other things, is the most important thing was the unemployment insurance. We put through an unemployment insurance bill that would cover, eliminate the 1 week waiting period and would cover a whole host of people who under normal circumstances wouldn't be covered. And basically,
I saw that.
People, pardon me?
I saw that. I saw the article in the Malden Advocate where you'd push that through.
Yeah. So we have that. And then now today, hopefully we're dealing with, we're negotiating with the Senate, but we're dealing with the the major piece that the governor has put forward to help the cities and towns throughout the Commonwealth, that basically for the towns, it's their election process up till June 30th, and some of the town meetings that they have to do, giving selectmen more power under this emergency situation, giving the cities, the building commissioners and Board of Appeals the opportunity to do things electronically, and then trying to make it so that notary of public can do things electronically as well. That's where we stand at this particular time. But we're going to deal with next week probably an additional supplemental budget to take care of the rest of the needs that are coming up on a daily basis.
Just as a general, maybe Representative Ultrino, you could talk a little bit about, is there anything specific in the works for some of, say, my pet projects concerning seniors and the schools?
From the legislature's standpoint, right now, for schools, they're talking about dealing with the commissioner on the MCAS exams. They just received a waiver from the federal government on standardized testing. So they're working on a bill right now to give powers to the commissioner, because MCAS is is actually in the legislature. So waiting on that. In regards to finances, right now, we're dealing with financing more people that are going on mass health or Medicaid, housing, fuel assistance, Department of Transitional Assistance. So that's what we're trying to do right now in regards to funding those programs. In an emergency, what the governor and the Secretary of Public Health has been doing is trying to get more hospital beds online. They have identified hundreds right now. The governor said today we're testing the third highest in the country, New York, Washington, and then Massachusetts. So those are the dire needs right now, and to make sure that we're getting the needs of our departments, such as transitional assistance and employment, going.
Yes.
And Representative Ultrino didn't mention to you that he was helping us with the rent and foreclosure.
Yeah.
So that
Good.
so that we just sent a bill out today to the governor with regard to to at least a 90-day period with regard to foreclosures and rent increases on public housing. So that takes care of the seniors who are in our public housing facilities, and foreclosures for those who aren't in our public housing areas.
That sounds good. I'm going to sort of throw out a little bit of a touchy subject. And I really have no idea where this next one's going to go, concerning revenue estimates and changes for this year. Obviously, I saw the jobs report come out today. It was pretty bad, and the schools are closed for a while. As you know, I'm a member of the Malden School Committee. So one of the big things I'm looking at is what's happening to revenues, and this could potentially affect our schools. Representative Donato, do you have any?
Well, you know that we did the Student Opportunity Act.
Yes.
And now you have to, that was one of the great things that we did at this legislative session. But now, based upon what's going on, we can't, at this point, predict as to what the revenues are going to be. You know that we followed the guidelines of the federal government with regard to tax revenue, and saying that your taxes are not going to be due till June 15th. And we did not do that to the corporations, because we need this mirror to see what the corporations are going to do for us at that particular time. But we're going to be, the wonderful thing that we have, the thing that we have is close to $3 billion in our rainy day fund.
Nice.
And we don't want to deplete that, but at least it's something that we can deal with while the federal government makes a decision as to how they're going to accommodate the states so that the states can accommodate the local communities. As a member of the school committee, I'm going to guess, it's only a guess, that in all probability, this is the school year. I'm not sure that if May 4th, according to the governor today, he's talking 30 days. I'm not, May 4th may not be extended. The more he extends it into May, I think the harder it's going to be to try to do, a school year for this year. But hopefully we'll be able to do that and get these kids, these students back acclimated. It's going to take a little while for the teachers. I feel bad for them to acclimate the students again. But as far as revenues are concerned, we're just as concerned as the cities and towns, because we don't know what our revenue is going to be, but we're working with the chairman of Ways and Means is working with the Senate chairman and the speaker and the Senate president, trying to at least figure out where we think we're going to be based upon what we look as projections.
You couldn't have said it any clearer. That's basically how we all feel right now. We have some guests on board. We have one of our city councilors has joined us, Councilor Linehan. Would you like to say anything?
I don't really have much to add. I'm mostly interested to tune in and hear what the representatives. Hi, Paul. Why does your Zoom say Paul Fanato? We got to fix that for you.
Oh, wait, is that what it says on my?
Yes, it does.
Oh, I got to figure that out. I'm lucky I was able to navigate this. I'm shocked that I know how to Zoom and Twitter and all the rest of the things.
I know, we're all learning. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Representative Ultrino a little bit earlier today. He's been passing a lot of really helpful information along on just preparedness and what local officials should know and expect. And I think, the information sharing is so key. I think a lot of residents are asking a lot of the same questions that you've been asking on here. So thank you for doing this. I don't really have much to add. Just want to listen in and, learn what's going on in the State House. I'm particularly interested in a lot of the rent and foreclosure stuff myself. I'm getting a lot of questions from advocates about that. And I want to be prepared to partner and help in any way I can to help, prevent displacement and homelessness and anything that we can do for our vulnerable residents. So thanks for that information.
Well, we did that today, Amanda, and
that's great.
So that he'll be able to sign that. And what we're trying to do is protect those who are in their homes and make sure that there's no foreclosures. And we can't do anything about rent increases, but we hope that the landlords are cognizant of what's going on.
This is why, excuse me, this is why we're doing this, because a lot of people in our city, they just need to get an idea of what's going on. And I see we've just been joined by one of our school committee members. Rob, is there anything you'd like to join or add or ask our representatives? Rob, can you hear me? Hold on a second. Yes, Rob, is there anything you'd like to add to this?
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe. I just wanted to pop in really quick and just because from the other night, and I'm trying to work on my video right now, so I'll just be participating with my picture on the screen. So I'm gonna try to work on my video. Just give me a second. Yes.
Would anyone else like to ask a question? We have a city councilor, we have two representatives here. How about that Bob Kraft and getting that airplane? Does anyone know how he pulled that off?
Well, the governor mentioned today, Steve, I think you were watching the governor today, and mentioned that he was working with Robert Kraft to get the masks that they had, bought, but it was a question of how were they going to get them here. And they did what they called a humanitarian effort, and
Hello, I think we've lost Representative Donato.
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Representative Donato, if you're still there, please try to relog back in. We've lost you. Speaking of PPE and masks, he mentioned something interesting. Lately, I've been changing the way I feel about masks, and I'm seriously considering using my own little bandana. I'm seriously considering what I should change and maybe stop walking around more in public with my own mask on. I think in San Francisco, the mayor has sent out a new order requiring people to start wearing face masks now. And they're actually talking about it. Does anybody have any interest?
Well, one thing, Joe, that the governor mentioned today is we're able to clean thousands of masks now too, instead of disposing them.
Oh, those are the N95 masks.
Right, the N95 masks.
But the normal people like us don't have N95 masks.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's been suggested we could use things like scarves. You know, simpler things.
Yeah, I see a lot of people on Facebook and stuff, like my cousin who lives in Boston, she's sewing, you know, she's using material that she had left in the closet, and she's making masks with buttons on them and patriot symbols and stuff, just handing them out. So yeah, I'm not at that point to wear a mask, but you know, to each his own, I guess.
Just to let you know, I think I'm at that point. I hope I'm not stepping on any toes.
No.
I'm not superseding the Malden Department of Health. I'm just saying what I'm going to be doing going forward is when I'm out in public, just so everybody knows, I'm going to make my best effort to wear masks.
Yeah.
Because people are kind of sensitive. I mean, I've had some longtime, really, really close friends, you know, who have lately gotten annoyed at little things like, Joe, I can feel you breathing on me. So I have to be sensitive to how other people feel. And it makes a difference in this day and age. And going forward, they've talked about possibly a second round or second wave of these sorts of flu things coming on. And if a second wave comes around, I think we're probably going to see a lot more people across the country doing simple things such as wearing masks.
Yep, possibly, sure.
Representative Donato, we lost you. We lost you there.
yeah, what happened is that it's all Steve Ultrino's fault. He put butter on my chair and my.
Yeah.
Yeah, Representative Donato, we were just having a short chat about PPE, what we brought up about Kraft getting the stuff in from China. And I was just suggesting to everyone that for my own personal use going forward, I'm going to be, I've become of the mindset that I should wear a personal mask in public. And I've got my fresh bandana all set up, ready to go. I think the culture's changed. In certain places like San Francisco, the mayor's practically mandating everyone wear masks in public. So in my opinion, I'm going to get with the program, and I'm not contradicting anything the Malden Department of Health is saying or doing. This is just how I'm going to help out going forward.
And thanks to Representative Ultrino, he gave me a mask the other day, so that he was concerned that, because I'm here in the State House doing session, and we're trying to stay as far away from everybody as possible, but he did give me a mask, and I appreciated that.
Well, that brings up an interesting question that just occurred to me. In the State House, are there, I don't know how to phrase this without stepping on toes, are there any plans to go virtual in the State House and conduct
Well,
business electronically?
we would like to do that, but there's a constitutional
Ah,
problem that we have. The Constitution says without equivocation that the members must meet, and then, but we're attempting to try to find maybe get a thesaurus and find out what the word meet means. But the lawyers are looking at that, and the Speaker and the Senate President are attempting to find a way to do it. The Senate President's got a little easier task because she only has 40 members. We have 160, so
wow.
that you wanted to do 5 members at a time at the Senate, you could do that by the 6 feet social distancing. With 160 members, it becomes very difficult. But we're working on that because we know we're going to have to deal with some issues on the budget, and who knows what other legislation we have to work with. So we're trying to find a suitable way to get the members here, protect them, but get them to vote as well. And then you got to give them the opportunity to make comments relative to the issues that they have concerns about.
That was interesting information. A lot of people.
Joe, our desks are only about 6 inches apart from every member.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, so it would be quite difficult to practice social distancing at all, I would imagine. But I'm sure they'll figure something out. We sit in 4 different divisions, so maybe they call a division in at a time to vote and keep the roll call open, but I don't know. We have open, constitutional issues with that, but the Speaker, we had a conference call with the Speaker the other day, and he did mention that House Counsel and Senate Counsel were looking into optional ways. But we do check in with we sit on committees, so we have conference calls with our chairs to talk about upcoming legislation. We're in constant contact with the Speaker's office.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be honest with you, I spend most of my day doing emails and phone calls with people who just lost their job, trying to get unemployment, the mass health system, DTA. I'm on the phone all the time with Karen Hayes for local stuff, Bread of Life, working with talked to the mayor yesterday. I check in with the superintendent once or twice a week. So that's what a lot of the state reps have been asked to do, is make sure your constituents can do whatever, help them with whatever possible, to be honest with you.
This is great, because this is what people want to know. They want to know that we're working, we're getting things done in the background. And sometimes I feel like the news or the word isn't getting out. So it's really, really nice to know that you're working hard for us on Beacon Hill.
Yeah, we don't, of course we don't advertise people that we're helping, because it's confidential, but
that's right.
Plus there's so much information out there. When it first happened, my aide and I, we were putting together a plan, and we're putting all this information out. And at some point, her and I were talking on the phone. I'm like, how much information do we put out before it gets lost with everything else we're putting out? Emails, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So we're coming up, her and I are coming up with a plan, like other offices, to, be very direct, but make it maybe twice a day, and instead of just copy paste every press release that goes out. But the jury's still out on what's the most effective way. But most of my time is just dealing with individuals one-on-one and trying to get them as much relief as possible. We also had a conference call with Senator Markey and Senator Warren yesterday. They gave us a great summary of the first phase of the CARES Act. A summary should be coming to us in the next day or so. So once I get that, I'll send that out as well.
Yes, I just noticed Senator Lewis will be having another question and answer session online tonight. He's very, very active as far as getting a message out there and answering constituent questions.
Yep. He also has 5 or 6 cities in town, so that
Oh,
Those
yes.
forums are really, really helpful for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I'm happy to say that as a member of the school committee, we will be meeting next Monday night. It will be online, so I won't be leaving my garage here. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about the social distancing issue that Representative Donato and Ultrino have to deal with in the State House. Just on a side note, I noticed we've been joined by Councilor Demaria. Debbie, would you like to say something or ask our state reps anything? Hold on a second. Let me make sure you're unmuted. Can you speak now, Debbie?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
So I want to say thank you to our representatives. Thank you for coming on Joe Gray's show. I think it's really important, and I think you gentlemen do a great job representing us in the State House. I'm sorry I was late to the call, but I have to tell you, I was watching the Kraft aircraft land at Logan and come into the Delta hangar, which so many of my friends still work in air cargo. So I'm sorry I was late to the call, but I guess my question is, with all these masks coming in, do you know how many are allocated to Massachusetts?
The ones that are coming in from Kraft, the Kraft aircraft, are all for
Great.
masks.
Yeah. We
They're
paid for
all-
those, yeah.
So we're not sharing them. They're a 1.2.
No, they're all for Massachusetts. We paid for them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great news. Great
Yeah,
to hear.
it gives the opportunity. There was some concern from the health care specialist that, you wore the mask and you had to wear the mask again, and that was not healthy. So this gives them the opportunity now with the masks that they've purchased to at least dispose of those and have a fresh mask. But
That's
all of those masks are for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
That's great. So I would assume our first responders in Malden will be first takers for all that.
We'll try to make sure that happens.
Okay. Thank you, Representative.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'd like to do now is just a quick go around the room. Would anyone like to ask our representatives any questions, anything we haven't thought of? We have them here, they're live. You can even use chat if your microphone doesn't work. If there are no other questions, we should probably start winding down and calling it a night. Let's start with you, Representative Ultrino. Could you give us some closing remark?
No, well, first of all, I want to thank you, Joe, for doing this and reaching out earlier in the week or last week. These sessions are very helpful. If folks that are on may not have a question now, they know how to get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me through email, phone, Facebook, instant message, Instagram, whatever you need. I'm here 24 hours, fortunately or unfortunately, locked in, but please do not hesitate to call me. I've been reaching out to all the city councilors, whether it's by email or phone, and if they have a constituent that has a statewide issue, please have them give me a call, or the council can relay that information to me.
All right, thank you. Representative Donato, could you please grace us with a closing remark?
I think I'd like to say, first of all, thank you. I've never had this kind of opportunity to do this, and this is a great opportunity, a little different for me. I did this the other day in the city of Medford with some of the members of the council the other day, but this is a great opportunity for me to speak to the people of Malden and let them know that of my concerns. But I want to let you know up front that Representative Ultrino and I work hand in hand. And when he has an issue that he needs leadership to talk about, I'm in that position to do that. But Steve and I communicate constantly to make sure that the city of Malden is getting its fair share. The most important thing I think that we want to, that I want to point out is that, once again, I am available. I do represent 25% of Malden, but all the Maldonians can call me. And like I said, Steve and I share all kinds of information together. This has been a great forum. You have great members of the school committee and the city council. Your mayor is keeping everybody informed. And I think that, as you said in the beginning, the communication is the important part, so that the people of Malden know that their city government is working on their behalf.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just so everyone knows, just like the previous interview session we did with the city councilors on Tuesday night, this is being recorded, and this will be rebroadcast across YouTube and social media, because some people have different appointments and couldn't be here tonight. And I'd just like to thank all of you, especially Representative Ultrino and Representative Donato. You really got to fix that. It says Fanato on the screen.
I'm gonna have Amanda check it out.
That's got to be a typo.
It is a typo.
I just want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. And if there's interest, maybe we'll do this again in a week or two.
Great.
Just let me know. I'm willing to host it if there isn't any other forum for this. Okay?
Okay,
Right.
have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Joe.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.